A minute 45 left. You trail, you're on the road. Field goal doesn't win it. One timeout. Who would you take, Gardner Minshew or Deshaun Watson? And I would say I would take Gardner Minshew today. Would you take Baker Mayfield or Trevor Lawrence? I would take Baker Mayfield today. I don't care about your contract, your resume, your draft status. I don't care. Right now, I'd take Sam Darnold, from what I've seen the first 3 weeks, over a lot of quarterbacks who are viewed as better quarterbacks. And you know, it's almost how you judge friends. A friend will help you move. A great friend will help you move a body. I lived in Vegas. I'm not going to get into it. So there's a difference. And I judge it based on crisis. The all-time greats, Joe Montana, Brady, Elway, all did one thing in common. Some big, some small, some big arms, some mobile, not mobile. One thing in common. Brady, Mahomes, Elway, great in crisis. A lot of guys are talented. They're not great in crisis. And so my top 10 quarterbacks, based on this premise, because that's what I'm paying for. I'm not paying for your resume. Jalen Hurts got a great resume. He turns the ball over too much. Can I trust him? And now he lost a great center. And now he doesn't have A.J. Brown. Would I trust him today on a drive? Not really. With Nick Sirianni? Okay, so here we go. The king on this, he's the Elway. He is the Brady of his generation. It's Mahomes. Let's not argue it. That 44-yard game-tying drive with 13 seconds left is the greatest last-second limited time scarcity drive in the history of football, and it really is defining. I mean, he's really, especially in the early years when he had a high-powered offense, I mean, he trailed playoff games by 2 touchdowns. Nobody cared. Didn't change the way you attacked him. Number 2, and I think his superpower is if you got to pick up yards down the field, best arm in the league, Josh Allen, also great scrambling. I think mobility matters a lot in that minute 45. Go to Mahomes' Super Bowl games. Mobility matters in these spots because stuff breaks down. Sometimes a Steve Spagnuolo is going to bring the house. Kirk Cousins, I love him. I don't get any mobility with him. Josh Allen, too. Joe Burrow, I get just enough mobility. And I also think he got to a Super Bowl with road wins with an atrocious offensive line and was running for his life. That, to me, defined Burrow as less talent than maybe Mahomes, less physical wow than Allen, but his ability to win with bad O-lines, and we don't know if Zach Taylor can coach, puts him at 3. One spot ahead of a guy that doesn't give me the mobility of Burrow, Matt Stafford. But Stafford leads all quarterbacks currently playing with 36 fourth-quarter comebacks. He had another one Sunday. This is his superpower is like Mahomes. Arm angles, throw it from any platform. I don't get mobility, and if the pocket collapses, he's in trouble, but I put him 4. I put Aaron Rodgers just a notch below because now Aaron is good, but I've never thought he's as great trailing as an Elway, Mahomes, Brady, or a Matt Stafford. I will say, though, in the last 2 years, half his wins are game-winning drives, so he's gotten better at it. Number 6, and now it gets tricky because I feel strongly about the first 5, probably C.J. Stroud. Now, I don't have a big resume to work with, and he's had a couple stinkers. These young quarterbacks, Minnesota game, they have stinkers. They go sideways fast for these young quarterbacks. 75-yard game-winning drive, 40 seconds against the Bucs. Like, it's impressive. I'm sorry. Greg Cosell talks about it this week, last week. The kid's just different. I would say number 7, again, I don't have a huge resume, but I love Jordan Love. He had 3 game-winning drives last year in his first full season as a starter. And in the playoffs, his first time going to the playoffs, he had a 99 passer rating and 67% completion ratio with the youngest offensive team, youngest roster since the 1970 Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. I know it's young, but between LaFleur, the youth, his mobility, now, he's going to have, again, he's going to throw some picks. He's more Favre than Aaron Rodgers. He's got some gunslinger in him, but I would put him 7. I will tell you, this is where Brock Purdy won me over last week. Last week was the proving point. No Christian McCaffrey, no Debo, no Kittle. Again, Stafford and McVay. He didn't win the game, but he won me over. I was like, wow. And by the way, Brock Purdy, highest fourth-quarter passer rating in league history. That's something, folks. I don't know if it's Shanahan. That's the highest fourth-quarter passer rating in the history of the league. I know. He hasn't played a lot. He's played enough to know some of that's relevant. Number 9, I may criticize Dak, but he was 3-0 in one-score games last year. Now, they get their teeth kicked in about 4 times a year. In the blowouts, he can be ugly, but in close games, Dak's a grown-up. Dak generally throws to the right guy. I don't think he has the biggest arm. He doesn't move around like Kyler Murray. But I just trust the IQ, the EQ. You know, the intangibles for Dak are better than the tangibles. But intangibles, Eli Manning was like that. I didn't love Eli. I loved him with a minute 40 to go. I loved him in Super Bowls. Dak's got some of that quality. I always trust Dak in tight spots. His limitations aren't his ability to maneuver late. Number 10, by a nose, Lamar Jackson over Jared Goff. Goff gives me no mobility. If the pocket breaks down, you're done. Now, Lamar hasn't been as successful as you think he has late, but it should be noted, in the last 2 minutes of his career, Lamar is a 120 passer rating. I hate to break it to you, he's good there. Now, I do not think he throws from the pocket as well as an Aaron or a Stafford or a Mahomes, and sometimes not as good as Dak. But I love his ability to just make stuff up. So I do give Josh Allen improvisation. Lamar Jackson, it does matter. Jared Goff would be 11. Then you get into the Jalen Hurts stuff. But these are the guys. I don't care about resume, playoff appearance. I don't care. Who do you trust?